I'm Diane Bass. I'm a federal criminal defense attorney in Orange County, California. The number one question that I get when people are charged in a federal case is, what am I looking at, or how much time am I going to get? And that is a question that is impossible to answer initially. However, there are a set of federal sentencing guidelines that have been written by the United States Congress that apply in every single federal case, and that is the starting point in any federal sentence. So there is a book of guidelines, and there is a number of levels that is applied to every criminal offense. So I have here the chart, which is the federal sentencing guidelines table. It's in the back of the guidelines book. And in this column here are the number of levels assigned to each offense. In the top column, we have the criminal history category that you fit in. So if you have never been in trouble before, which is hopefully the case, then you are in category 1. If you have 2 to 3 criminal history points, then you would be in category 2, and so on. In this area here are numbers of months. So let's say that you are in an offense level of 21 and a criminal history category of 1. You are looking at a sentencing range of 37 to 46 months. Now, this is the very starting point. Now, what determines these levels is the offense that you are charged with. In a theft-related case, any kind of a fraud case, the amount of loss would determine how many levels. And then there are other enhancements that can be added. There are also deductions that can be taken. In a drug case, it would depend upon the quantity of drugs and so on. And so when a judge sentences you, the very first thing they look at is the federal sentencing guidelines chart. And that is the starting point. Now, if you enter a plea of guilty, you get credit for what we call acceptance of responsibility, and you automatically get 3 levels off. So you would be down from level 21 to level 18. Sorry, I'm terrible at math. And your sentence would be reduced from 37 to 46 months to 27 to 33 months. Now, in federal prison, you would serve 85% of your sentence, but there are also other ways to have your sentence and your time in federal prison reduced. As I said, this is the starting point. Then there are other factors that the court must consider at sentencing. The factors that I concentrate on when I'm working on sentencing with a client are the history and characteristics of the defendant and the nature and circumstances of the offense. So there is always a reason why people do what they do, and we will talk about that in great detail when we're working on your case. But even more importantly, I spend a great deal of time talking to my clients about their personal history. Everyone has a story, everyone has a background. And I always say to the judge, but for the grace of God, go you and I. Many people have circumstances that we can't even imagine. And I know you know what I'm talking about. So if you had some sort of trauma, some sort of abuse, some sort of health issues or mental health issues or family issues that you've dealt with, these are things that we would go into, we would address, and we would really make very clear to the court. The other thing is all of the good things you've done, your education, any sort of volunteer work. There are all sorts of mitigating factors that I would argue to the judge. And this is where I believe I excel at sentencing, is really humanizing my clients and turning them into somebody that the court can understand and relate to. They can actually feel that they've walked a mile in your shoes, and they can understand the circumstances that led you before the court. Now, there are many, many other factors that are taken into consideration at sentencing. There are aggravating factors, again, other mitigating factors, and these are called departures, they're called variances. That's all technical legal language. The important thing is that you want to find an attorney who understands the special nuances of the sentencing guidelines and the factors that the court has to consider at sentencing, and somebody who is really going to present you as a person and listen to you and take the time to understand and hear your whole story so that the judge can understand and the judge can impose a reasonable sentence, not more than necessary under the circumstances. So please call me if you are facing federal charges and let me help you.